Hello and welcome to another anime lore and theory video. I'm Shergok, your host, and today we are going to take a closer look at how powerful Ainz Ooal Gown was as Momon the Adventurer. But before we're going to take a closer look at any of this, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, and say my thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. Also, thanks for all the get well wishes, you're awesome guys. And again, if you missed my AI voice, I have created a whole channel just for her, so check her out if you want, it's linked down in the video description. And with that said, let's take a closer look at the topic at hand. Ainz Ooal Gown's alter ego Momon was actually created for a completely different reason than many of you might think. He was not created as an infiltration unit or anything like this, but Ainz had created the character of the Black Knight to slip unnoticed out of the Great Tomb of Nezarec. This was simply something he felt he needed to do because Ainz, who had arrived in the new world only a few days ago, found the constant attention and the fact that he was always accompanied by multiple bodyguards very annoying. This was all new to Ainz, and he wasn't accustomed to it. What Ainz completely overlooked, however, is that all NPCs instinctively know to whom they owe a loyalty and allegiance. They can essentially see his aura and check his surrounding environment, and therefore know, regardless of how he dresses or what he calls himself, that they must remain loyal to this very being right in front of them. This in turn led to Ainz being recognized relatively quickly, and it was only after Albedo clarified the situation for him that all of this is just Ainz Ooal Gown's way of informing them that they didn't have to let go of everything they are working on right now in order to attend and worship and serve Ainz Ooal Gown. And as this character, as Momon the Dark Knight, Ainz Ooal Gown later went to Irantel. And one thing to note, if Ainz Ooal Gown had encountered other players at level 100, players who were hostile towards him, he would have had to give up his disguise immediately, as he would need to fight them as the Overlord Ainz Ooal Gown with his unchecked, unrestrained magical power. He had also considered activating the perfect warrior mode, but fighting as a mediocre warrior without skills against dedicated melee builds of hostile players would in his mind be a sure way to lose. Therefore, Momon the Adventurer is weaker than any normal level 100 Yggdrasil Online player. And in general, Momon was the equivalent, at least the offensive equivalent, to a level 35 warrior, which is more or less on par with a Death Knight or a Death Warrior. Still, with this much strength, Ainz could easily handle 99% of all hostile enemies in the human kingdoms and nearby, and would also have a good chance against elite entities such as Fluda Paradane, the 4 Imperial Knights, or Remedios Custodio. Overall, I estimate Ainz as Momon to be about as strong as a powerful member of the Black Scripture, though with much better magical defense and much more HP. And in the fight against Clementine, we could see that Ainz could easily withstand her attacks. However, this was mainly due to his physical nullification ability, which allowed him to completely ignore any damage from opponents under the level of 60. So this is not a Momon specific ability, and in the fight against Gojin, the War Troll, Ainz completely deactivated this nullification ability to make the fight fairer. Additionally, Ainz Ooal Gown was much more experienced in combat in the 10th volume, or season 4, compared to the beginning of the first season, or the 2nd volume of the series. So without nullification, Ainz would have definitely taken damage against Clementine. This also means that Clementine could cause damage without Ainz being able to fully stop her, despite his best efforts, since she could move faster than him and pierce sensitive areas like the eye socket with her 2 stillets, something that again Ainz tried to avoid but simply couldn't. But still, this wasn't really something that could, even without the nullification ability, have caused much harm, as Ainz, as Momon, would still be protected by his high resistance against stabbing damage. In addition, Ainz, even when fighting as Momon, has a significant number of hit points, simply because he's still a level 100 being, and over time, Clementine would have gradually become weaker, simply because as a human, she loses more and more stamina the longer the fight lasts, and eventually Ainz Ooal Gown would have caught her off guard, and just one good hit with his twin greatswords might have turned the fight completely. Furthermore, Clementine didn't necessarily have her strongest armor with her. When she fled the slain theocracy, she couldn't bring her normal equipment with her, because it was guarded by Zeshi Zetsumai. So she assembled her bikini armor from the dog tags of slain adventurers. In contrast to this, Ainz Ooal Gown wore off her clothing under his normal metal armor, greatly empowering him. This relic class equipment is still relatively rare, and only 2 levels below Ainz Ooal Gown's normal attire. So let's go take a quick look at his magic outfit. First and foremost, we have the sure hit glasses, which is basically an aimbot visor for Ainz. The necklace of the Nemean lion, which presumably is enhancing Ainz Ooal Gown's vitality and strength, is also equipped. Jahngreiper, which increases Ainz's grip strength and his overall physical power, is also part of his equipment as Momon the Adventurer. As are the Boots of Haste, which enhances his movement speed by 5 points. And then there are the Black Belt, the Crown of Mental Barrier, and the Black Widow Spider Clothes. Although the abilities of these items are not individually explained, they are also very likely enhancing Ainz Ooal Gown's capabilities as Momon. Why I'm mentioning all of this? Simple, because Clementine in her bikini armor would have had still won against Gaza in just his normal attire, but she in her bikini armor would have had no chance against Gaza in his royal warrior outfit, but in her original day-affected equipment, in her normal attire, in her normal armor, equipped with her normal weapons, Clementine would have actually defeated Gaza even in his royal warrior captain armor. This also implies that in his role as Momon, Ainz Ooal Gown would likely have won against Gaza directly. However, the battle between Gaza and Momon, which I would have liked to see in the books, would have probably been relatively challenging for Ainz still, as Gaza has much more experience in swordsmanship than him, and his weapon Razor Edge could, even with Ainz Ooal Gown's nullification ability active, still inflict damage upon Ainz Ooal Gown. So therefore the battle would be way more balanced than Ainz Ooal Gown perhaps might have liked. And when he and Clem fought each other, Ainz quickly casted Grasp Hard when his red orb came too close to Clem's blade, Razor Edge. Now, since Gaza's armor would gradually heal him bit by bit and also prevent fatigue, he would be able to counter Ainz Ooal Gown's undead advantages. However, in the end, Ainz's larger health pool, combined with all of his items, would likely make him too strong for Gaza. But the fight might still take hours, if not days, and Ainz Ooal Gown in turn would have learned a great deal about swordsmanship by the end of it. And with that said, we are moving on to the strongest man in the kingdom, Andra, naturally in his red armor, because otherwise Azud wouldn't even be on the adamantite rank and the fight would be relatively short, but in his armor he would become a serious threat to Momon the Adventurer, simply because he can fly. This ability alone would put him out of reach of Ainz Ooal Gown as Momon. This in turn would force Momon to remove one of his buff items to wear the necklace with the imbued fly spell, and then fight Ainz Andra in the air. But still, Ainz Andra has the advantage of being able to fight at range, with his machine gun and his various magic launcher tubes that his armor still has. And this is something that Ainz Ooal Gown, in his Momon form, does not excel at. Additionally, Ainz effortlessly defeated 2 level 35 NPC monsters created by Ainz Ooal Gown himself. And since Ainz as Momon is the equivalent to a level 35 warrior in terms of strength and defense, so he would likely have faced a true and significant challenge. Moreover, with his alternative equipment, Ainz no longer has immunity against fire, making Ainz's fire-based magic attacks even more devastating. So I think Ainz as Momon would likely struggle here, at least without the perfect warrior mode, or simply have endured until the suit ran out of power, or rather Ainz ran out of magic, or his ability to pilot the thing, forcing Ainz to fight without it, which would lead to his sure defeat. But to safely eliminate Ainz Andra while maintaining his disguise as Momon, Ainz would actually need to switch to his perfect warrior mode. This would then be a certain death sentence for Ainz, as even Albedo, who is heavily focused on defense, could inflict significant damage on Ainz Andra with a relatively weak strike. Albedo also noted how soft Ainz's armor felt. In other words, Ainz Ooal Gown with the perfect warrior mode and a few well-aimed sword strikes could easily defeat Ainz Andra even in his armor. But in turn, any halfway decent level 100 warrior type, like for example the All-Talk Sage, could likely defeat Momon even in his perfect warrior mode. So that's the battle theory, and I also hope, as mentioned, that we will see Pandor's actor or Ainz Ooal Gown as Momon face a strong opponent at least one time in the story. Perhaps he will fight against Platinum Dragonlord's armor, or maybe against one of the Dragonlords of the Arkland Council State, or even against the young godkin leading the Black Scripture. After all, Ainz Ooal Gown is still training his close combat skills so much, and it would be nice to see how he could defeat a formidable opponent solely through his training, only to then reveal that he is also an immensely powerful caster. And with that said, now it's your turn. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or do you have another opinion? Let me know down in the comment section. And while you type, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Order Daddy Order, ASK, Bad Girl Ye, Bad Burrito 316, Bezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Dragonlord Placido Saxophone, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feralchivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Moreno, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Roy, Lord Touch Me, Loverazor, Mervek, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Phantom, Personage, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Cune Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rak Edsmeshar, T.E. Wang, Vesh Hawkeye, Vegito27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenukai, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.